Hi there, Flowery Folk. Welcome to today's episode. So today I wanted to chat all things floristry education and our top tips in finding the right course for you. But before we start, I just wanted to let you know I record this podcast out on my veranda, immersed in my garden, just because that makes me feel good rather than sitting inside in a studio. I hope that there's not too much distraction with the bird noises. If there is, please reach out and let us know what you think. If that's annoying, it's something we can definitely change and we can go inside to record. So just a little note. But all right, floristry education. So this is something that I get asked a lot from different people at different points in their sort of floral journey. And they will talk about a different course, and then I get asked, is it really worth it? Well, honestly, I am not an expert on each and every course out there, but I do have some ideas that I wanted to share with you that might be helpful for you to determine whether a particular course is right for you. Okay? I think the most important thing that you need to think about before taking on any training is thinking about what it is you want to get from it. Is it a full-on career change? You just upskilling? Do you want a, amazing portfolio of work? Maybe you just want to have a bit of fun or do some intensive training, If you want to become a florist or floral designer, then obviously you're going to need something that is much, much more involved than maybe someone who just, wants a bit of relaxation and wants to just play with flowers. Also, if you've been in the industry for many, many years, maybe you just want to learn some new techniques, mechanics, or maybe just get some more inspiration. So obviously you're looking for something very, very different to someone new in the industry. Before you jump in and book a course, I think it's really important for you to become very, very clear on what it is that you actually want to achieve by the end of the course, okay? Because there are so many amazing flowery experiences out there, but you need to really understand what you want before you go and book, okay? Maybe you just want to connect with other flowery folk or other florists. Maybe you just want to have a great time, be inspired, get some industry contacts and some beautiful photos. That's fine too. And there's some, courses that will cover that. Or do you want to learn, very specific techniques? Do you want to learn business information? All of those sorts of things. As I said, become very, very clear what it is you want or you need from this course and use that to guide you in selecting a course. So once you've obviously found a course, you need to think about what this course or program is actually giving you. Okay. Again, is it just a bit of fun and a relaxing experience? Are you learning the elements and principles of design? Are you learning mechanics, techniques, discussing, business aspects like pricing, planning, marketing, all of that sort of stuff? What I'm trying to say is don't just be swayed by the pretty pictures of flowery dinners on some exotic, Mediterranean coast. We all love that and we all get excited. But before you book into it, find out what you are receiving or learning, and is that in line with what you need from that course, okay? If you can't find this out from reading through the program or schedule, that's linked to the booking, maybe you could ask other people that have done this course or similar courses or programs, or reach out directly to the provider and just ask them. You should have a clear list of what it is you need or want to learn from the training. Maybe just ask them, does this cover X, Y, Z? Or can you just give me a little bit more information about what's going to happen, on our design day? Are we going to learn this, this, and this? A lot of providers will probably welcome those sorts of questions because they can share their knowledge and their, insight into the course. Don't be shy to ask. No one's going to, bite your head off for asking. You need to be clear. Okay. Something else that you need to think about is that some courses or programs will offer specialist sessions and have inclusions such as photo shoots. Maybe there's course books, industry contacts, could be an amazing destination. Whatever it is this something that you want or need, or are you paying for something that you don't really want? So a lot of courses I've seen popping up recently have beautiful photo shoots attached, which, yeah, that's wonderful. But if you're at a point in your career where you just want to dig in and learn techniques, mechanics, all of that sort of stuff, maybe having those photo shoots isn't really what you want, and you're sort of paying for that service. That isn't something that you need. So just have an idea of what's going to be included, and is that going to align with what it is that you need. All right. Something else to think about is, how is it delivered? Online, face-to-face, video tutorials, this really comes down to a few things. How you learn best, and how or where the course or training is actually being offered. Okay. Firstly, think about how you learn best. This depends on probably what you want from the course as well. So obviously, if it's just a little bit of fun, a video tutorial's probably an okay way to do it. But if you're doing something much more involved, is a video tutorial going to be the best way for you to learn? Maybe you need to do something more face-to-face or interactive. So just think about that. I know I personally learn much better in person, so I can engage with the person teaching. I've done video tutorial sessions before. Honestly, I tend to drift off and not actually watch them. And so for me, if I'm looking for some sort of quite in-depth specific training, I would definitely be looking at something face-to-face, or at least via a video link where I have access to the tutor and we can, discuss things throughout the session. Okay. You might be the type of person that works, quite well self-paced, but you just need to understand that about yourself. Think about how you learn the best before you just jump into a session. So something else that you really need to consider is how much time that you have to give. If you're juggling lots and lots of different things, such as, kids, work, study, possibly trying to stay sane, do you have the time to completely and wholeheartedly commit to, a 6-hour training session once a week for the next 12 months, for instance? Can you take a week off work to complete the training? Again, understand how much time you have to fully commit to the training before you sign up. Okay. I see way too many people join, an intensive certificate class, not realizing how much time commitment is involved. And, a lot of the times over the first sort of module, a lot of them will drop out because it's just, they haven't completed, all the work. They just haven't been able to commit to it. So please, please, please have an idea of how much time you can commit, because you do not want to be wasting, any time, and especially money. So that leads to another important point. How much money do you want to spend on your training? So this really depends on what sort of course it is you want to complete, how long it is, how it's delivered, what's included. Will obviously, all of those aspects will mean it'll have a vastly different price tag. If the course requires you to travel to another destination, obviously that's something to consider as well. You're going to have travel costs, accommodation, all of that to add on to, the course fees. There are so many different variables when it comes to fees for training. I think, a few things just to be mindful of would be, if you want to complete industry training, such as, a certificate level course through a registered provider in floristry, you could possibly find that there's some sort of funding out there. I know each state is quite different and it changes all the time, but that's something your provider could definitely give you a bit of information on. Maybe there's some sort of funding that will cover some of the fees. Another thing to think about is if you're already working in the floral industry and the course is sort of related to what you actually do in your day to day, you might find that you can claim some of the course fees as a tax deduction. So that's obviously something you need to talk to your accountant about. I'm not an expert in that, but possibly you should, discuss with them if you're already in the industry. If you find that some of the training that you want to do is out of your budget, maybe you can do part of it now and do another part later on. So again, some courses, particularly more the industry training through RTOs, they are broken into different modules. You may be able to do, one module this year, another module next year. Yes, it's going to cost you more in the long run, but if you are limited on funds or time, this could be a really good option for you rather than, jumping in with a massive course that you can't, really, really finish. Lastly, another type of training that you could consider would be taking on a personal one-on-one session with a trainer. So yeah, this is probably going to cost maybe a little more than, a standard course where 20 other participants attend, but you will get one-on-one tuition. You will also learn exactly what you want to learn. So you're not paying for anything that's not really relative to what you want to learn. Okay. There's lots of different providers out there that offer this service, including myself. And each of the sessions are really laser focused on what it is each participant wants or where they're at in their sort of floral journey. So that's something to consider as well. Now, if you've done your homework and you've worked out what you want from your training, you've also worked out who is the best provider for the training, and lastly, how it's being delivered. It's being delivered in a format that obviously works for you. Figuring out if it's good value for money or is it worth it is so much easier, because at the end of the day, good education at any stage of your floral career is very, very rewarding and worth absolutely every cent. Okay, just do your homework and make sure you're getting out of it what you actually want. If you want to learn more about our one-on-one workshops or training sessions, please reach out to me either on Instagram at the Posy Crew or over at the Flowery Folk. I'm happy to, take DMs there or pop over to the website and fill out one of our contact forms there, either at the Posy Crew or the Flowery Folk. Also, one last thing, if you are enjoying the podcast, please remember to tell your friends. This is very, very new for me. I'd love to obviously reach more people who are obviously interested in flowery sorts of things. The podcast is going to cover all sorts of stuff from tips and tricks, business information, and also have a big focus on listening to other people's floral stories. So in particular, if you have someone in your, contacts that you think has an awesome flowery story to share, please tell them to reach out because I'd love to chat to them as well. Also, if you've got any suggestions for topics, things that we should talk about, again, please reach out to the Posy Crew or the Flowery Folk. So thank you so much for listening and taking the time to listen to me. Hopefully you join us next time and enjoy our flowery journey together. Thank you. See ya.